are built for this network, for the strong, not the weak.
Yo, this is Afro, aka All Flows Reach Out, and you're listening to Built for This Network. Yes, sir. From the building, stay bomb.
Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for tuning in to NBA Got Game TV. Part of being an NBA scout is to find and to recognize talent that others don't see. In the history of the NBA, there were many players that got overlooked on draft night. But not only overlooked, but also booed once they got drafted. To me, it's always great to see if these players become great NBA players and the boos turn into cheers. So in this video, we will feature players that got booed on draft night but became great players in the end. But before we start this video, if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. Also underneath the video, you will see a link to our Facebook page. Likes are really appreciated. And I would say, let's go. We're gonna start off our list with Dan Marley. The player who would later become known as Thunder Dan had a rough start in Phoenix. But through his amazing work ethic, he proved many fans wrong and became an all-star and one of the most popular NBA players of the early 90s.
The Phoenix Suns select Dan Marley of Central Michigan University.
I cannot help how you feel. All I can tell you is this: we couldn't be happier, and I think you people will be sorry that you ever booed this young man.
Got it! Big shot by Marley.
Is that Thunder Dan? Thunder Dan.
The thunder makes me shake.
A shooter, took it to the basket. He could do it all.
For Thunder Dan.
He's the first guy I ever saw modeling without a t-shirt as an NBA player. Just doing it. Thunder Dan. He got the lightning strikes behind him. Kaboosh, kaboosh. Thunder Dan.
13-0 lifetime against Louisville. Well, that's a near half-court three for Marley.
Station that jams, y'all. KMDA 91.7. Ooh, DJ. Better look.
Shot clock for three. Got it! Big shot by Marley. Dan Marley for three. Number 9, Dan Marley.
Next on our list, Kristaps Porzingis. When Phil Jackson was in charge of the Knicks, you never knew what to expect. Many fans haven't heard of Porzingis before and thought that the Knicks had wasted their pick. But man, were they wrong.
With the 4th pick in the 2015 NBA Draft, the New York Knicks select Kristaps Porzingis from Liepaja, Latvia. He last played for Sevilla in Spain.
The despair on the young Knicks fan's face, and perhaps Chris Porzingis.
Carmelo Bruce Beck, WNBC TV. What do you think about the selection of Porzingis, and what do you think about him as a player right now after seeing him around?
Well, we got him. I mean, we got him at number 4.
what I think at this point is a little bit irrelevant. I've showed everybody that I've supported, that pick. I've showed everybody that I've supported Porzingis. As long as me and KP know our relationship, that's all that really matters. It doesn't matter what somebody else might speculate out there. But as far as, him coming into this season, I mean, I kind of feel bad for him, man, because there's so much pressure on him at this point, and this guy hasn't played not even 1 minute in the NBA.
Vujacic with a rebound, and Anthony with the three. No, flying in is Porzingis. Wow, what a follow!
There's almost one of those every game. You check the highlights, you'll see a Porzingis offensive rebound dunk in traffic over everybody. That's impressive. Yeah, but it's kind of funny now everybody's saying what a great pick. Phil Jackson, what a move. A lot of people that were criticizing this kid are now jumping on the bandwagon.
Flying in is Porzingis. Wow.
He does not shy away.
Porzingis, sorry about that on draft night, but we're behind you 100% now. You go, guy.
Sorry for booing you, KP6. It's official now. You're a New Yorker. We got your back.
He's been searching for a nickname. What have you heard? What do you like?
Porzingis.
I like Porzingis.
Porzingis.
Ooh, Porzingis.
Zinger, Porzingis, Porzingis.
KP6 all day.
Next stops, baby.
7-3. It's just cramming it on everybody.
Porzingis throws it down on low.
And whenever I see him do something nasty, I'm just like, Kristaps.
Porzingis again.
The putback dunk against Milwaukee, man, that was ridiculous. I haven't seen the Garden like that in a while.
Slamming and jamming on this shot with the Master Blaster.
And the next pick on our list is Damon Stoudemire. For the first ever draft pick for the Toronto Raptors, the fans had a clear wish. They wanted Ed O'Bannon. But when the Raptors selected the unknown Damon Stoudemire, the fans were shocked. But Isaiah Thomas saw a lot of himself in Damon, who would later become the Rookie of the Year that season.
Isaiah Thomas and the guys working on this thing, and they're saying, we want Ed, we want Ed, we want Ed O'Bannon. I don't know if that's going to be the situation with the Toronto Raptors. Ed O'Bannon kind of slipping in some eyes because of the problem with his knee. We'll get into that a little bit more later. What do you do if you're the Toronto Raptors here? UB Brown, you're in the same position as the Vancouver Grizzlies. Where do you go?
Yeah, but I don't think it's quite an obvious pick here, mainly because of the medical condition of O'Bannon. Plus, you have no idea what Toronto is going to do with the expansion players that they've drafted, if they are going to move some of them to other teams and get a different type of player back. I think the draft changes now. We're in a crapshoot.
With the 7th pick in the 1995 NBA draft, their first draft and their first pick, the Toronto Raptors select Damon Stoudemire from the University of Arizona.
Bombs are bursting in air over the Raptors' new parquet. There were a few, I guess you expect that at draft night, a few boos because people say, hey, that's not the guy we wanted. But Damon Stoudemire, the first point guard taken in the 1995 draft. Any surprise here, Doobie, that he's the choice?
No, because I think it's a player that they really like.
You were a surprise draft choice by the Raptors. So it was a big deal for the folks in Toronto. They announced Damon Stoudemire. Right. The fans booed.
Right.
They weren't happy.
Right.
Did that rub you the wrong way?
That really didn't bother me. Nothing was going to take that moment for me. I got drafted, so they could have booed. They could have threw stuff on the stage, but it wasn't going to take my moment. You know, it wasn't going to take.
That wasn't one of those moments where you're looking for motivation, people doubting me and building your anger. I'm going to carry that forward. That was just sheer bliss.
And the next player on our list is John Stockton. What can you say about John Stockton? In his long career, Stockton often got overlooked. This also happened on draft night. Nobody but the Jazz seemed to know what a great player this kid was. He would become one of the best point guards to ever play the game.
Utah Jazz select John Stockton of Gonzaga University.
The next pick belongs to New Jersey.
Utah Jazz with Derek Durant still available, and they say this is the one.
I've always said I think John Stockton is the perfect point guard.
Stock right side, Stock down the middle, underneath the below, and up! Oh, baby, what a play by Stockton!
His sense of where he was on the floor, his peripheral vision.
It's like watching an artist work, John Stockton.
You'd say, how did he see him? Huh? Oh, he's over there. Boom, he throws the pass over there.
What a pass, John Stockton!
He's one of the few guys could pass a basketball where players wanted it. To me, it's phenomenal.
He's got him low. The mailman jumps it. Shot up. It's in. He did it. He did it. A new NBA assist king, John Stockton.
There's never been a guy who made better basketball decisions with the ball. Ever.
Hey, and thanks for watching this video. We really hope you enjoy our content, and if you'd like to support our channel, you can do these things. First, subscribe to our channel and click the notifications button so you will always be up to date when we upload a new video. And also check out our Facebook page. You will find the link underneath the video. Likes are very appreciated. Thanks a lot.
Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, everybody. This is your man, HRap, coming at you live and direct. This is the End of the Bench podcast on Built for This Network. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a wonderful week. We got a lot to talk about. Again, this is Built for This Network. I am HRap D. Let's get this thing cracking. You know how I start every show, by giving homage to my ancestors and my family, the people of transition, the people who are still here. Without them, there is no me. I want to send a shout out to the people connected to my family with Whitmore, Pollard, Turner, Battle, Cotton, Harper, Bailey, Chris, Lansdowne, Megan, Duncan, and me, my mother, my father, my sisters, and my brother. We are the Williams clan. We are always in the building. As usual, this is a podcast. We are recording live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending upon what time you listen to and when you listen to this. If you are catching this later, you're coming in right now, you're at the top of the show. If you can't finish, you can always come back to Spreaker.com and then or go to YouTube.com, Built for This Network Radio. You can go to Apple Podcasts, Built for This Network, pull it up, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, or wherever you download your podcast. It's very important that you hit the like button for me. Thank you. And welcome aboard. Hitting the like is important to me. I need it because with that, we grow each and every single solitary day. Hit the like, share with your social media. Please tell a friend to tell a friend. It will help. I will appreciate it dearly. It is important that you do so. Share with your friends. You got friends who like sports. You like friends who like hard-hitting commentary. You like friends who like to debate. Give me a call. Give me a call. It will be definitely an adventure. An adventure. This is, again, the End of the Bench podcast. I am your host with the most, the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, HRap B. I'm joined by one of my co-hosts, Joe from Houston. How's it going, Joe?
Chilling, man. You know me. Loving this weekend sport. Ready to talk about it again.
With that being said, man, it has been a very interesting week. And if you really want to be a part of the show, you can either create a profile on Spreaker.com using your social media or your email. Come into the chat room, or you can give us a call, 605-313-4379, 605-313-4379. There's an access code, 920547. And then what you'll do is you'll have a situation to whereas you can basically give me a call and see what's going on in the world of sports. What's cracking, Jack?
lot has went on in the past week since you last aired, my brother. Crazy trend. Well, free agency. He had some mix-ups in football games, had some injuries. That's a little bit of everything that happened this past week.
With that being said, man, let me start up at the top of the list, as usual. I want to send a healthy prayers, speedy recovery to Joe Burrow, rookie, who was the front runner of the rookie of the year. He blew out his knee. It's a tragic situation. Cincinnati Bengals, as usual, seem to be snake bitten. A lot of people are second guessing, third guessing, fourth guessing, and first guessing. People were saying that they were using him improperly. I don't think that played any role in the ACL tear. Now, if you want to say that they were letting him throw the ball too much, that's one thing. But listen to the pundits. What are your thoughts in regards to the Joe Burrow situation?
I mean, for one, shout out to Joe. You know, I love my brother's name. Well, say his name Joe. That's number one of it. But number two, in regards to it, it's reminding me so much. It's so weird because me being a Colts fan, it reminds me of the whole Andrew Luck. It reminds me of how we talked about Deshaun Watson. They're getting quarterbacks wanting them to save their franchise, but they're not putting them in the proper position to protect them. Like, I remember we made the joke a couple of years ago, Derek Carr got car insurance. They took care of him. We talked about the offensive line for the Dallas Cowboys. They took care of him. What did Cincinnati do to protect their number one draft pick? So, I mean, I hate that it happened. I mean, because he was promising. I mean, he was excited. I mean, granted, they was losing. They the Bengals. The Bengals, you know. Bengals go Bengals. But in regards to, he was excited enough to watch. Like, they were in a lot of these games. You know? So, I hate that brother. I hate that Joe Burrow went down the way he did. I hate that, you know, his season got cut short, but as he said, he already got the right mindset. You can't get rid of you that easy. See you next year.
Well, I totally disagree with everybody who's saying that. Football, everybody in the history of football, they have an opportunity to get injured and career-threatening injury every single solitary play. I mean, Drew Brees got sacked. It looked like a traditional sack, cracked 9 of his ribs. I don't think there's nothing you can do to stop somebody from getting their ACL blown out. Last time we saw somebody in Cincinnati get their ACL and MCL blown out, it was Carson Palmer. They had an outstanding line. Tom Brady blew out his ACL and MCL. They had an outstanding line. When it's time for you to get hurt, you're gonna get hurt. That's just it. We could complain now. What they should have done, in my personal opinion, is balanced out the offense. If you are going to have a rookie quarterback, first and foremost, again, this goes back to listening to the computer. The computer does not compute the fact that you need to have balanced offense. It looks at the most effective way to do something. If you're looking at the most effective way in regards to intangibles, of course, you throw these short passes and this, that, and the third. But when can you have a computer factor in the fact that some left tackle or right tackle may whiff on a block or it could be something like with Joe Burrow. You throw the ball and Carson Palmer threw the ball down the field, use that big powerful arm that they both Carson Palmer had a powerful arm. Joe Burrow has an average arm. Use that big arm as a National Football League quarterback to push the ball down the field. And then something freakish happened and you blow out your knee. Carson Palmer happened to him. It happened to Tom Brady. It happened to Joe Burrow. There's no, if you would have did, in my personal opinion, there is no, if you would have done this and he wasn't a rookie, because guess what? Deshaun Watson was on one of the best college football teams in the last 10, 15 years. Guess what happened his rookie year? Taj Boyd graduates. He takes over his freshman year, gets his ACL blown out. Comes to the pros, had a decent line, gets his ACL blown out. I don't think there's no such thing. I don't think it's a such thing as if you would have had the prerequisite offensive line, because guess what? They also say if you scramble all the time, you're going to get hurt. If you do this, you need to stay in the pocket so you can be protected. So which one is it? Stand in the pocket and being protected, or is it protecting yourself or paying attention? It's just, hey, man, I've seen quarterbacks take monstrous hits, get up, shake it off. I've seen guys not get touched at all and blow out the ACL. So injuries happen, and it's just a situation. Again, this is what I spoke about last week. We can sit around and watch ESPN, and I'm not accusing you of this. We can sit around and watch ESPN and parrot what they say and see, this is what happened. But the reality of the situation is this. When you are on a football team and you are throwing the football 40 plus times, what you are telling the defensive linemen, and the linebackers, run at the quarterback as hard as possible, and you can make him flinch or knock a half a second off his vision, and you will either speed him up or knock him down. That's just the way football will be played for the rest of the time. You saw it last night with Tom Brady. You saw it 2 weeks ago when the Saints were speeding them up. You speed up quarterbacks, they'll do wrong things. You speed up quarterbacks, you can knock them down. Point blank, period. The game is played between the lines, not in a computer. I got my man Big Illinois in the building. Welcome aboard, my dude. What's good? Talk to me about this. What are your thoughts on Joe Burrow?
What's going on, Brother Joe, Brother HRap? Hey, man, something about FedEx Field or whatever they label their field is. Man, it's bad quarterbacks together. Either playing against Washington or playing on Washington. But, man, I think it was just one of those forgetfuls.
Yeah, I totally agree, man.
You can't say that. I mean, that could have happened anytime he dropped back. I mean, Mixon is hurt, and they running game was kind of off the chain. You got to think they're still in the middle of a rebuild, so that offensive line stuff. So, I mean, I think that they should hold them out for 2021 and just bring them back in 2022. That's my opinion.
I feel you, but I totally disagree with that too. You know why? Because one of the great things about the National Football League is from year to year, you don't know who will get drafted. You don't know who's going to step up and do the damn thing. So if you don't know from year to year, excuse me, I'm sorry, everybody who listens. Shout out to the people in the chat room. Shout out to the background listeners. You don't know from year to year who you going to get, who's going to be a guy that you don't know who this dude is going to be. So I'm never holding a dude out. I understand the logic behind that, but we saw the Dallas Cowboys rebuild their offensive line almost overnight in the middle of Tony Romo's career. We've seen people, I referenced this last week. We've seen the Rams go from worst to first. We've seen several teams go to worst to first. You never know what's going on in regards to chemistry, in regards to player health. I mean, I'm not wasting a year of development just kicking a dude to the curb, because one year you can be, and the next year you work on your strength, you work on your technique, and then you're one of the best offensive linemen, or you got one of the best systems in regards to offensive line in the National Football League. So me personally, I'm not holding them out because, hey man, somehow, some way, I know this is a totally different position, but somehow, some way, Pittsburgh keep drafting linebackers and wide receivers. Somehow, some way, everybody continues to plug in pieces all over the league. If he's back and he's healthy, what I will do is scour. My job will be to scour the earth for offensive linemen, second, third, fourth round guys, or third, fourth, and fifth round guys. I'm checking out all these little schools, and then they may be in a situation to dominate. Speak on it.
That's actually a great plan. Of course, like I said, we know he's not coming back this season, so I already said he has the right mindset in regards to saying, hey, I'm going to be back next year. So if he works his butt off and get back strong and able to come back and do it, let him do his thing. I mean, you drafted him for a reason. Put him out there. I mean, like you said, do what you can in regards to this free agency, draft, everything you can to that equip him for what he does when he is coming back. That's all we can look forward to. Like I said, he wasn't terrible. He was just loving. He was just losing.
Yeah, man.
I understand, but the reason why I disagree with that was because that's usually is 9 months to a year as far as the recovery time. Because he tore his ACL and the MCL, right? So if we say he has to go to 4 years, You're looking at November of next year.
Mm-hmm.
They only have, 5 or 6 games left.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not bringing them in if they're not in contention, which 9 times out of 10 they won't be.
No, I feel you.
Out the rest of the year, get you a veteran quarterback that he can actually learn from.
Man, you know what? I totally understand that line of thinking. I can't say it's a flawed line of thinking. I can't even say I disagree with the way it's being laid out. Only thing I would say in regards to that is this. Depending upon the situation, and remember, I'm saying this, depending upon how everything shakes out, I still want them to get that extra experience. Now, if the line is still porous and you got your top running back, a.k.a. Joe Mixon, not doing much, no, I'm not going to say about that to fail. But if we decent, you get back on the field because I want you to have as many looks as possible. And I want the team to finish strong, which potentially, hopefully, theoretically, will propel you into the next season of success. Because, hey man, even though this is 100 years ago and 21 years ago, Tom Brady, Drew Brees got hurt. You went and got somebody that was just on your bench that you ain't think was anything. Next thing you know, he one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. The term used to be Wally Pipped. Wally Pipp got hurt, and the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig, stepped up and set the Major League Baseball record for consecutive games played. You never know who's going to step up. Nobody thought, I'm not saying this dude is a royal beater, nobody thought Tony Romo was going to be big time like that. So, what happens if you draft somebody and you get another Gardner Minshew? That's all I'm saying. If I can afford to play him, I'm playing him as soon as humanly possible. I'm not going to rush him back, but I'm going to play him as soon as humanly possible. With that being said,
you want to get comfortable with getting back on the field too. Like, granted, you're gonna have your physical therapy, and I'm coming. And this is coming from a person with a leg injury. So, like, yeah, you need your physical therapy, but it's still times when I don't trust his leg. But he's gonna have to make sure he does that because I don't play football for him. He does. So he's gonna have to make sure that he's still confident enough to be able to make some cuts, still be able to run, and do everything he needs to do to make this thing succeed. Like, you got a lot of respect coming up. So I wish him well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you, but it's just the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't see them developing a quarterback. That's what I'm saying. If you can bring them back fully healthy, I mean, I understand exactly where y'all coming from, but as a GM, I probably would kind of push for him to be out the whole year and just let him play like maybe like the last 1 or 2 games, for instance.
Okay. I mean, we're pretty much saying the same thing.
You know, give him some rest.
Yeah.
Pretty much saying the same thing. Speaking of teams that are on the rebuild and on the man, the Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa was benched this week. Again, we get a bunch of fitter fatter stuff that I just don't believe. Speak on it. What are your thoughts on what happened with Tua? How would you have handled the situation? And how did you see it?
I'm a little confused by the whole situation. I mean, like, granted, you put him in. Okay, Tua came in the midst of a win. This type of Jordan, put him in. If they won't let him roll, but you take him out again. It's like, why do you keep jumping back and forth? I don't know what's wrong. I mean, I'm confused. Like, I don't know what's going on with this. I'm going to see who's going to play on Sunday, who's going to be the starter, and go from there. Miami Dolphins is starting to sound like the dumpster fire that we thought they were going to be, as you.
Yeah, I think that was a move by somebody who was just starting to be a head coach, in my opinion. Because I mean, did they take him out because he wasn't reading the defenses right, and that's the reason why he kept getting sacked?
No, from what I could tell, they took him out because he was taking a beating. We talking about a dude who is quote unquote fragile. I don't believe that either because he had 2 ankle surgeries. 2 of the 3 surgeries he had at Alabama could have simply been avoided if they would have taken their time and said, look, we need you to sit down for 4 to 6 weeks. But it was more important for them to cut that boy open and let him play and potentially let him play than allow him to wait and heal because they wanted to win a national championship. With that being said, he was taking a beating. Their offensive line was playing like trash. This kid is supposed to be their future. So the coach said, nah, man, you're going to sit down for this one. And if we win, you cool. And if you not, that's cool too. And I totally agree with Brian Flores. The reason I afford Brian Flores this type of cachet is because 365 days ago, a little more than 16 months ago, everybody named mama and their mother's uncle was saying, Brian Flores is a dumbass. Look at him. We don't know what the fuck going on with Brian Flores. Brian Flores this. And everything, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but everything that Brian Flores did has worked up until this point. When your offensive line is playing like trash, you got a quote-unquote fragile young quarterback, physically fragile young quarterback, coming back off a horrific hip injury that we questioned if he was going to ever be able to play football. I'm not leaving my young guy out there to take that beat neither. It's easy to sit back and say, hey, man, but they could have won. Or he could have got hurt, and then the whole world would be sitting around right now saying, why did Brian Flores leave him in with him taking that beat? Why not just put Fitzpatrick in? The reason the reason he took Fitzpatrick out is because Fitzpatrick is a bum. He gets real hot, and then he gets cold as ice. Every year he does this. He's been doing it for the last 10 or 15 years. He is the perennial backup quarterback. Like they used to say back in the day, everybody's favorite player is the backup quarterback. So, yeah, he was looking good. He was doing this. And guess what? Since Tua has been in, they have not missed a beat. So, if this kid has been looking solid in practice and you want to put him out there, then go ahead, put him out there. And if you see him taking a beating that he shouldn't have been taking, take him out. Don't let the kid get beat up. Don't bruise his ego. And if I'm correct, that means the homie Brian Flores went over there and said, yo, you know what, man? It's not your day. It's not nothing against you. We're gonna regroup next week and come back. You got 5 sacks last week. He was sacked 5 times last week. You don't want a young dude who's been getting hurt on a regular getting sacked 5 times. And contrary to popular belief, the Denver Broncos defense has been showing up all year, even though 60% of that team is on the injury reserve.
I got a question in regards to this. What was their pass to run ratio?
Let me look it up. I made a mistake and hit the button. That's why y'all heard the damn commercial being played.
I thought your kids came over.
I ain't got no kids. Not no kids.
I thought you had some like the last week or two.
No.
You had one of those alien babies.
I'm not sure what their run to pass ratio was, but again, you're right. But again, I don't see Brian Flores until I pull it up. I'm looking it up right now. Until I see it, I'm going to argue that Brian Flores traditionally runs a tight ship.
Well, let me ask you a question, though. Buffalo has a good defensive line as well, and they have to play them again. Now, my thing is, if you run into, because they're going to run into issues with the offensive line, because once again, they're actually a year ahead of the rebuilding phase, if you think about it. So is he going to take him out every time he run into a little trouble like this?
Did he take him out because he ran into a little trouble, or did he take him out because he...
Give me out. Now, granted, Chubb and that defensive line was getting clean hits on him, which means that could have been something that maybe they could have swung some help over there to that left tackle or something, but are they going to take him out every time he struggles like that, though?
Did they take him out because he was struggling?
the game was still in question when they benched him.
Did they take him out because he was struggling, or did they take him out because he was taking a beat?
I don't know. They never gave any indication. That's why I was asking, did they take him out because he wasn't reading the coverages right and he was allowing himself to get sacked?
I would say
he wasn't picking up the blitz. Or did they take him out because
AT&T's Black Friday sales event is here, and it's our best offer of the year. Save $500.
I would pick the latter of the two. Simply because
he gave clarification on it. All he said was that he was
to the right, back to throw.
The reason I would say that is because exactly what you said. If you got defensive linemen getting clean hits on your quarterback, that means your offensive line is playing like trash. And if your offensive line is playing like trash and you got a young quarterback, why force him into the Derek Carr world or the Carson Wentz world, Deshaun Watson world, where you get sacked 70 times in 16 games? I'm going to protect you from that. Because all I know is all those dudes that sit on TV right now that said Brian Flores did the wrong thing, what they did, it was a 2-1, 38 to 17 total rushes and 38 passes. But all those guys that said that Brian Flores did the wrong thing, those very same people would have been on TV today saying, see, Brian Flores don't know what the hell he doing. Brian Flores, see, he's a rookie coach. An experienced coach would have took the young quarterback out and not let him get beat. See, we can't live, I'm not saying you, but we can't live on both sides of that critical fence. Either he don't know what he's doing, or because he let him stay in and get hurt. Joe Burrow, they shouldn't have been letting him throw it that much because that line is porous, Joe Burrow. Brian Flores should have let him hang in there because the game is in the balance, even though his line is a damn turnstile at this point. We got to pick a struggle. We can't live in both of those worlds. That's all I'm saying. Because if Joe Burrow got hurt because his offensive line was terrible and they shouldn't have been letting him throw the ball as much, when you take Tua out, how does, in the same scenario, how does Brian Flores get criticized? I'm listening.
Hindsight. It's all hindsight. That's all it is. Because at the same fact as you saying it, more so, Joe Burrow could have kept taking that beat had he not tore his ACL. He'll be out there next Sunday.
But they have been saying this about Joe Burrow since week 1. Why are they letting this boy throw the ball 40 times a night? He's going to get hurt. You're putting your quarterback in danger. So how do you sit on TV Monday morning after saying that for 10 weeks and say, see, we told y'all weeks ago, we told y'all since week 1, they was going to put this boy's career in jeopardy, letting him throw the football like that. And those exact same people sitting on TV saying, why he take out Tua even though he was taking a beating? Because he was doing, Brian Flores was doing what y'all said the coach in Cincinnati should have done. You can't straddle that fence. Either the dudes in Cincinnati were wrong or Brian Flores was wrong. The dudes in Cincinnati can't be wrong, and then you do what they saying do, you do what they should have done in Cincinnati, either pull the rein back or sit the boy down, and you get criticized too. You can't criticize me for both things. This is not one, in my opinion, this is not one of those things when you can say two things can be true.
All right. I'm with you on that one. I'm with you. I agree completely. We're asking for Tua to be back. Well, we don't know why he did it, but you said he got beat up. Joe Burrow been getting beat up all year. They ain't even thought about taking him out. But now they forced to take him out. So you're right. We can't condemn the Bengals and praise the Dolphins. It don't work like that. You can't have them both ways.
You know, that's all. I'm just trying to figure out, how do you live on both sides? You know, you can't live in the middle of the road on that. Ravens, next up. Speaking of, we're going to stay in that same division, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Ravens were the most dynamic offense. They had the league MVP last year. This dude was the future of football. And now they look like the damn Bengals.
Man, we say I fell off like bad dope. I'm sorry, Dale. I know you listening. I love the Ravens, but they are getting you. They face me at this point. Even the games like when it was just a week and things like that, where it came down to that last second interception, they could have lost that game. So it's like they won a lot of games in those last seconds of the game where it could have went either way. And I guess that's what, keeping their name, because they're getting them in the win column. But now they're taking them in the loss column, and it's looking a little shady over there. Looking a little shady. A little shaky, boss. A little shaky.
Man, I think it's a combination of, Ingram was hurt, and the NFL is, you got to switch it up, man. They offensive coordinator, I don't know if he's only running the plays that Lamar can actually process, but even Lamar that said that they offense is predictable, like people be knowing what they about to call when he come up to the line. So I don't know. They still have time to try to get it straightened out, but yeah, they can't. It's like they receivers can't get open either, man. I don't know, man. Maybe they just need to. Plus, they missing a couple of. I think they missing their tackle as well too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that can factor into it as well, but I think our offensive coordinator just needs to switch up the plays, man. I don't know, man.
I said this. If I said this,
I can't explain it.
I can. If I said this once, I said it 10,000 times. You're looking at a situation where the coach is a piece of trash. He's been winning on talent alone. They're really missing Ozzie Newsome at this point. They have zero depth on the team, and if Deacon Dale could refute this, I love it. I love to hear his comeback because Deacon Dale he's well versed at this. But I think this is a situation where this is why 2 years ago, Lamar Jackson had to save Jim Harbaugh's job. This is why 4 or 5 years ago, they go on the run of a lifetime with Joe Flacco and save Jim Harbaugh's job. The team is not tough anymore. Now, this is something they've been saying on TV all week, and I would admit it because all I know is this. This is high school. This is college. This is pro. If you come to my stadium and stand on my emblem in the middle of the field, it's time to throw some hands, or it needs to be some furniture moved. It needs to be some pushing and shoving going along. And the fact that the coach is out there ready to fight and the team is standing on the sideline like, yeah, look at the coach. That's a lack of continuity. 2, why didn't you? You got film on us now. That means it's time to switch the game plan up. And when you switch the game plan up, you get different and better results. I understand. I don't think this is a situation to whereas Lamar can't process anything because every year of Lamar Jackson's career that I've been paying attention to him, and I go back to the Louisville days, I watched him as a freshman in Louisville, like, man, dude, like a little bitty Michael Vick type dude, because I thought he was a smaller guy. Then he got better his second year. His third year, the next year, he wins the Heisman. And then he even got better his third year in college, which is the year that he left. And nobody really gave him credit for it because he wasn't winning the Heisman. He actually statistically got better. This lets me know that Lamar Jackson is doing everything he can to be a better quarterback. He is not being coached properly. I am not of the school of blaming the players. Sometimes it's not the Willies and the Joes. Sometimes it's the X's and the O's. I have heard people like Deacon Dale, Harbaugh, and he just said in the chat, Harbaugh has lost the team again. I've heard people like Sports and Hills, and I've heard, just talking on Twitter, I've been talking to some Ravens fans, and they all say it's time for Harbaugh to go. But what happens is he gets on the roll because they have a lot of talent. Ozzie used to pack that team with talent, and they will overcome even the shortcomings of a coach. If this was one of these guys that people don't like, they would be kicking him in his head. But he's a fan favorite. He's a quiet, he's a meek guy. He's humble. He's tough, but consistent and blah, blah, blah. So that's the type of guy who sits around and yucks it up with the reporters and make it seem like he's their best friend. So he don't get a whole lot of flack that a guy like a Rex Ryan or even a Chucky, even though I'm not a fan of Chucky, or one of these coaches that'll just let you know Parcells. These coaches that'll tell you, man, get out my face. You don't know what you're talking about. And that's why the Ravens are looking the way they're looking. Compounded by the injuries. But to me personally, part of getting players open is coaching. When you have proper coaching, you get players open. Anybody who want to refute what I'm saying, all you have to do is go straight up 95 north until you run into Foxborough and you see Bill Belichick is dealing with less talent than most people, or less dramatic talent than most people, and he continues to make it work. So to me, this is a clear-cut case of poor coaching and an inability to touch your players, because there is no way you was going to play Westinghouse and stand on the W and it wouldn't have went down. I've seen it happen at the U. I've seen it happen at Florida State. I've seen it happen on the Star in Dallas, and it happened. And for the only time I didn't see a fracas breakout was Sunday, when the coach is out there wrestling with ball players looking like a chump. They'll say they lost their identities. The Ravens were out coached in a few games this year. They still beat the Cowboys and the Giants. Damn. Shout out to Deacon Dale. Shout out to Deacon Dale making it happen, man.
You wasn't going to sit on the provider from being from another school. Like, nah, you wasn't going to celebrate or you try to do all the extra stuff on the middle of Buffalo. Like you said, there'll be some furniture being moved.
Just.
Yeah, but the team not backing them, that just shows like they not behind them at all.
And,
like I said, I'm not sure what's going on. But is it something with the Harbaugh? Because it's like Michigan ain't doing so well either.
Difference is this one won a Super Bowl.
Okay, I give you that. I give you that. But I'm just saying, but is it something up with the Harbaugh? Because it seems like both coaches have quote unquote lost or are losing their teams. Has their time just ran? Is where they're at? Is it time to move on from where they're at?
Most definitely. It's time for both of them to go. It's time for both of them to go. Now, Jim may not lose his job because Jim is in a situation to where he can always fall back on the COVID thing, and everything was in disarray. So everything was out of whack. So I'm gonna keep my job. John needs to go. Because this is the third time that the players had to save his job. First time he won the Super Bowl. The next time Lamar Jackson saved his ass. He needs to go. Point blank, period, end of sentence, full stop. We're going in another direction. Pittsburgh Steelers, are they a product of the schedule or are they the real deal?
You want to take that? You go ahead and go.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a product of the schedule, coaching, and man, the defense is good, man. And they running game. Well, you said that they had a good running game. I don't see.
I said no, I didn't. I said they had a solid and an adequate running game.
They use a short passing game to kind of make up for their running game. I mean, it's only been so far in this 10-0 start. I'd say about maybe 3 games that could have went the other way.
I'm gonna give it to the team. At first, in my notes, I had a mixture of both, but you can only play one in front of you. I mean, when they made this schedule last year, well, coming into this season, you didn't know what was going to happen in regards to what these teams were going to fall off at. So Pittsburgh has to play who was in front of them. So I'm giving it to them. Mike Tomlin got the boys coming. Again, he has another successful season. Going to win, what? How many seasons did it have to be? Like 9-10 seasons where he had over 500, well over 10 games, like 9-10 games. So I'm giving it to the team. In this regard.
I would definitely agree with a combination of both. You're looking at a situation to whereas last year the defense just picked up where they left off at. So when you pick up where you left off at, and you were doing the damn thing with when you're doing the damn thing with a quarterback that's inadequate, then there you go. You going when you bring in a quarterback that's gonna do the damn thing or just not lose a game. Because me personally, I think Ben Roethlisberger is one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the last 15, 20 years. That whole Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers class is overrated as hell. Period. But that's neither here nor there. I think Mike Tomlin is pushing the right buttons as usual. And I personally blame Ben Roethlisberger for all the shortcomings in the Pittsburgh. Ben Roethlisberger and injuries for all the shortcomings of the Pittsburgh Steelers over the last 10 years. Since Mike Tomlin has taken over, it's either the injury bug has hurt him or it's been a situation to where as Ben Roethlisberger has had one of his historic 3 to 5 interception games and blow the damn season. Season goes straight down the drain. So I definitely think they've been blessed by a less than stellar schedule. But the beautiful thing about this is Mike Tomlin has not allowed the Pittsburgh Steelers to fall into any trap games. They could have just limped into the game with Dallas. They could have limped into the game this week and hey man, these bums. And next thing you know, it's over with. He hasn't allowed it. Big ups to Mike Tomlin. He's been doing the damn thing since he walked through the door. And as long as Ben Roethlisberger doesn't blow it, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers could win and play for the Super Bowl championship. What are y'all thoughts on that? And I never said the Pittsburgh Steelers had a good running game. I said they had an adequate running game.
I mean, between the two tests in regards to the Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean, as far as it goes, that was in the room, the Chiefs. As far as it goes, and if everything goes as sharp or the way it's supposed to be, it's going to be them in the Kansas City Chiefs. So, are their defense going to be able to step up and slow down that high-powered offense? We don't know. Ben Roethlisberger, like you said, is he going to have one of those own end games, or is he going to step his game up and actually come to play? But I mean, at this point in time, those are going to be the two teams, like I said, that's supposed to be an AFC championship, so I'm looking at that. So as far as it goes, I say yeah. The Pittsburgh Steelers can beat Kansas City. If the defense can hold up and slow down that offense, they'll be just fine.
That's going to be kind of tough.
I did say yes.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of tough.
So the Steelers got a whole
if Buddy get back into that, I'm going to make the quarterback the MVP. Because if they run the ball, and like if they have like at least a 60 to 40 ratio as far as passing and throwing, passing and running, ain't nobody beating Kansas City. But if they only have Patrick Mahomes throwing, Pittsburgh will beat them.
I like Patrick Mahomes. I'm not as confident as you are in the Kansas City Chiefs because the defense is porous. And when your defense is that bad, if you run up against a team who can score, i.e. Sunday, we'll talk about that later. You run up against a team who can score consistently, you'll beat them more times than not with defense, even if they are balanced. Because defense travels, offense don't. No matter what you do, 99 times out of 100, your defense will show up. Your offense, if it starts off slow and the other team gets out fast, they can slow the game down and beat you. So I'm not as confident as you are. I do understand where the confidence comes from. When you got Patrick Mahomes on your team, you got a chance 16 weeks. You got a chance 16 weeks. The 2 weeks in the playoffs, well, it's going to be 3 weeks in the playoffs, because Pittsburgh more than likely going to be number one. The 3 weeks in the playoffs and the Super Bowl. You got a chance every time you step on the field. But if that defense don't step up, I'm not as confident as them as you are, because, again, 99 times out of 100, the defense and the game is a different game in January. That's why a lot of these big-time players, they be invisible men in January. January shows who is who. So I'm not as confident. But it's kind of hard to vote against the goddamn Kansas City Chiefs, because that shit is unreal. What the hell is going on in Philly, guys?
Philly's a dumpster fire. Truly. I mean, we talk crazy about this division and how everybody was lackluster and things like that. We gave Eagles a pass or two because there was some injuries involved. But they screwed loose too. I don't know what's going on with Walker 2 and Wentz, as my boy Uncle Shake called. But it's like, it's so weird because they can't get anything rolling. And I don't understand that at all either. Like, the way I'm looking, well, of course not as bad, but the way I'm looking at them is the same way I'm looking at the Ravens. Like, what are y'all doing? So, man, both of them teams wake up calls.
But you know what, man? I think that there was a play Sunday, right? In the fourth quarter, I think it was like 8 minutes to go. Play action pass. You could either hit, if I'm not mistaken, it was the running back or tight end Goddard. For some reason, he wanted to go another like 5 or 10 yards to somebody that was double covered and threw an interception. And it was just like, it was so obvious, like, dude, why are you throwing that in this situation? And he has 1 or 2 of those every game, man. I think it's Wentz, man.
Again, this is the same thing. I think somebody laid down. Remember back in the day when you used to pay for things with credit card, they would slide the carbon copy thing. This is a carbon copy of the thing that's going on in Baltimore. This team has totally lost its identity. They've lost their toughness. And this is what happens when you win a Super Bowl. Frank Wright gets a job in Indianapolis. The boy in Chicago goes away, which they probably doing a little better than Matt Nagy and calling plays in Philadelphia. And the team gets, the coaching staff gets split up, and they lose their mojo. Carson Wentz is, again, another one of these overrated guys that don't nobody want to get on TV and say, he kind of sucked. But at the end of the day, he kind of sucked. I thought he was overrated a couple years ago. I thought he was overrated last year. I thought he was overrated the day they drafted him. And they've been dressing him up in this big-time quarterback suit for the longest. Another thing is Doug Peterson, he needs to commit to the run. Again, it's another case. I hate to sound like a broken record. Keep listening to them damn computers, man. It's amazing how the coaches that are not following their analytics formula, they keep getting their asses kicked. They keep getting their asses handed to them because this is a passing league. Okay, pass your way right into last place. Pass your way right into last place. That's just stupid. I agree with you, big dog. Carson Wentz is hitting wide open linebackers at the most inopportune times, and it's partially because he's pressing. And he's right out of the Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers mold. I'm not finna give you credit of being a great quarterback because you were there when 2 Super Bowl victories happened. Because let's just be honest. Eli and Ben won 4 Super Bowls between them. Eli made some big plays in both those Super Bowls, but if you take that NASCAR package and you take away Joy Porter and James Harrison and Troy Polamalu and Ryan Clark and that crew away, how many Super Bowls would Ben have won? How many Super Bowls would Eli won? None. Defense won those Super Bowls, and this dude is another iteration of another overrated scrub bum on a very good team that wins the Super Bowl. So that's why I don't go with that. Oh, he got 5 rings. Last time we saw Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, Tom Brady was thrown for 1 touchdown. As a matter of fact, did he even throw a touchdown in that Super Bowl? And he got another Super Bowl ring. So I ain't going with that. So
I think it was like a 5-yarder.
So I ain't trying to hit none of that. I'm not trying to hit none of that. This dude is overrated. He's going to run the Eagles into the ground. And because, again, he's a media darling and everybody likes him and he's the cool guy and he's the good old-fashioned American boy and he looked good last year when the league was down and they got him to the playoffs, it might be time to either replace Dougie P or replace Carson Wentz. Either way, the Philadelphia Eagles are looking like trash. Point blank, period.
You know what, man? I disagree with the coach, though. I think that the coach is actually for the amount of people that got hurt on offense and my bad. The amount of people that got hurt on offense, they in position to win, man.
That's what I said. No. I said either get rid of Dougie P or get rid of Carson Wentz. Either way, they look like trash.
I hope they don't get rid of the coach.
He needs to commit to the run more, though. But again, man, the more we let computers run sports, the more we get dumbass play calling, and then we like, what's wrong with these guys? And I turned to ESPN Monday just to hear Dan Orlovsky sound like Deion Sanders and most of the best cornerbacks in the league backpedal and try to cover Carson Wentz. The dude is a bum. He's a bum. Because if Cam Newton was playing like Carson Wentz, people be saying Cam Newton's career is in jeopardy. Where's all this damn criticism at? With that being said, the Green Bay Packers, what the hell is the problem in Green Bay?
They ran into a buzzsaw called the Indianapolis Colts.
I bet you $1,000 the Indianapolis Colts don't win the first round playoff game.
Hey, you know what? I got.
Well, they not a buzzsaw. You know why? You know why I know you don't think they're a buzzsaw? Because you start stuttering like I was choking.
Hey, Philip Rivers is my quarterback. I am happy with every win we get. But in regards to what it is for Green Bay, man, they can't stop those. In regards to their run defense, it's non-existent. All you gotta do is keep Aaron Rodgers off the field. Just keep running, like you always said. You run the win, you don't score. He ran the ball. Coach ran the ball, kept Aaron Rodgers off the field, and when it was time for him to get it, hurt the ball. Not him personally, but he wants to use, of course, to hit the turn. But overall, as it came, Green Bay got to a great lead. And more so, I don't think that they put off the gas, or my team, the coach, is taking it out. Just ran the ball, and they couldn't stop him. So he came back.
Illinois?
Indianapolis defense was a little better than what they showed in their first half. But it was just, for some reason, in the second half, Green Bay was playing not to lose, man. It's like Aaron Rodgers got back into that dink and dunk thing that he do, because he's not aggressive at all. He's good, but he probably was the least aggressive quarterback in the league. But I don't know if that was a matter of, hey, let's stop running the ball and do these. I don't know. I think that was a matter. I think I'll put that loss on their coach, because they should have ran the hell out of the ball. Especially if your defense ain't shit and they can't stop the Colts passing game.
I blame the general manager. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, but you know what though? People say that they need receivers though, B. Those receivers be wide open. They got the running game, where their tight end position is off and on. Like they do show up every once in a while, but it's that defense, man. Sometimes they'll play good for a quarter and a half, but they can't close it out, man.
Me, I feel you. But me, I blame the damn general manager. The Green Bay Packers are a bunch of punks. All you have to do is run it right at them, and they gonna fold every time. If you hit Green Bay in the mouth, they are going to fold. And that's what the Indianapolis Colts did Sunday. If anybody who doubts me, I'll just give you this. The Green Bay Packers rushed the ball 18 times for 66 yards at a 3.7 clip. Aaron Rodgers ran the ball 3 times. So they really only ran the ball 15 times. On the other hand, the Indianapolis Colts ran the ball 37 times to 140 yards. That's the difference in the football game. Yeah, you got the dude at the end having the ball in the wrong hand, blah, 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 yada, 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 this, that, and the third. People been running around the NFL running the whole ball in the wrong hand for decades. They just only highlight it when the shit go bad. But when you only run the ball 18 times and the damn quarterback throws the ball twice as many times and the other team runs the ball as many times as you threw the football, more than likely you're going to win. You're going to get your ass kicked. I mean, the Green Bay Packers have been getting busted in the mouth every chance somebody could since the NFC Championship game last season. You bust them in their mouth, you start off the game, you run out there, you bust them in their mouth. You bust them in their mouth again, you bust them in their mouth again, and then you just hope that Aaron Rodgers don't get red hot. But this goes to show, this is another situation to whereas these computer nerds, everybody wants to be Sean McVay. There's only one of those guys out there. That whole get down works with him. But guess what? Sean McVay will run the hell out the football if need be. It's just another situation to whereas these dudes want to listen to these computers and listen to these experts. And I'm the smart egghead guy. See, you can't beat it. There's only one dude in the last 25, 30 years that has said, you know what, we will run this football and I'll still be a genius because we'll keep winning. He coaches up in Foxborough. Because it takes genius to realize what your shortcomings are and say, we can't do this. And we got this cold-blooded quarterback, but we need to run this ball down their throat because our defense ain't stopping nobody. And that's why even though I like and respect Bill Belichick, I don't give him as much credit as most people, even though he has been a part in regards to defense. I give him all the credit in the world. I don't give him a whole lot of credit on coaching because he's just coaching football. He's doing what you're supposed to do. Oh, y'all don't run the ball. Y'all don't stop the run well. We gonna bust you in the mouth. Oh, y'all don't stop the mid-range pass. Tom, hit Gronkowski, hit Wes Welker, hit them little Amendola and those dudes. Oh, y'all don't stop the deep ball well. We gonna throw it over your head. Gronk, line out at the come out the flank, go out to the X or the wide receiver and go deep. Whatever you don't do well, that's what he attacks. And other coaches, most of these coaches throughout the league don't do that. Green Bay, they got a PhD in doing stupidity. The worst part of your defense last year was your what's your team last year was your defense. And you go out and draft a quarterback. Oh yeah, because that's exactly what we need. Even though we just gave this dude $100 million, then $100 million guaranteed. We need a defense. One of the most wide receiver rich drafts in the last 5 or 10 years. You go get a quarterback, and your number one guy stays hurt. He stays on the training table, and you don't go get another quarterback. A wide receiver. So Green Bay, they are who we thought they are. To quote the late great Dennis Green, stupid. With that being said, before we do the previews, you know what? Let's go ahead and do the previews, man, because this to me is just situation where football ain't football no more. We dealing with a bunch of, as my man Colonel Klink on, what's the name of that show? They're a bunch of duke-offs. The Seattle Arizona game. Anybody want to take that? Go.
Down goes Kyler Murray. In regards to it, I mean, it was more so a revenge game. 12th man wasn't there, but I guess the pressure was felt. Seattle won on that. But like I said, sorry for Kyler Murray to go out. Kyler Murray get injured the way he did. Ain't going out. Well, I know he did get a shot in his arm going in the second half, so that still bothers him. But Seattle's won.
I think shout out to Dunlap and Norton, man. They might have something working with that defense, man. I mean, they got Adams back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as long as you're able to run the ball and not have Russell drop back 80 times, I mean, I think they're going in the right direction heading into the playoffs.
To piggyback off what you said, I don't think it's Norton as much as it was Carlos Hyde. Carlos Hyde gave them some real tough yards. He was out there balling out of control, relatively speaking. He ain't do no yeoman's job at 79 yards, but he gave them the ability to slow down linebackers, so you just can't sick them on Russ.
The defensive end that they got from Cincinnati.
No. Carlos Hyde, I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm talking about Dunlap.
Oh, yeah, I know you talking about. I'm saying, I said I will give him credit to Dunlap and Norton. I know you talking about DC, but I'm saying the fact that you just couldn't pin your ears back and run straight at my man Russ, Danger Russ, slowed the game down, shows the great job of coaching Pete Carroll did as well. Again, this is a dude who understands if the quarterback is sped up a half a second, he's not going to be as effective as he can be. Can Russ still have that escapability? Hell yeah, he does. But do you want your quarterback escaping almost every other drop back? No. You want him to do that when necessary. Shout out to Carlos Hyde. They kicked it in. They got it in. Philadelphia versus, I got the microwaves versus the Mandelions. Philadelphia versus Cleveland Browns. Speak on it.
Yeah, I'm picking the Browns.
No. This game already happened, bro.
Sorry. I'm looking at my graph. Bring it to me. But, hey, man, that running game, you keep running at the end of the game, that's your wear my foot. Sorry. That wear it don't seem sound. And that second half, that run that Chubb had to get them in the red zone, and then Kareem Hunt, who I wish the Bears could have pried away from Cleveland. Man, that's a hell of a tandem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And went through the silliest interception ever. But, man, they run the ball. They're keeping that shit out of Mayfield here.
Yeah. Man, again, to piggyback on what you said, keep the ball out of Faker will fail, and you will not fail. But you can't do that in the playoffs. You can't hide your quarterback in your playoffs because you'll need your quarterback to make plays. He can't make those plays. They're going to replace him. Shout out to the Cleveland Browns for getting Jameis Winston or Dak Prescott or HRap B or anybody else who's not going to blow the game. But, yeah, man, as you stated, Nicholas Chubb and Kareem Hunt are running the ball down folks' throats. The good thing is they could potentially sign both of those dudes to big enough money to where it's not going to hurt the whole cap because they're about to draft another quarterback and they got free money. And, I mean, this is a team that's insanely talented. And Philadelphia, their coach is not doing a great job of coaching. Philadelphia is not doing a great job of coaching up Carson Wentz. And we're seeing the ill effects of that. New Orleans versus the Falcons.
That's the problem.
It definitely did. Man, the way it was looking, Jameis ain't gonna play.
I mean, we'll see how it is when he go against who they play this week. When he go against a different team, we'll see how that is. But I mean, he was looking kind of like Lamar out there for a second, man.
It been Broncos this week.
What about this game, though?
They ran the ball. Alvin Kamara might actually should be considered in one of those in the MVP conversation, man, to be honest with you. But defense kept them in the game. I think it was a complete effort by them, man. It shocked me, I ain't gonna lie to you.
I never seen Taysom Hill play, so I was indifferent on him. But I did. It goes back to coaching again. To me, it's a reoccurring thing with these good teams. The good teams are being coached well. They're playing traditional football. They're not looking at the computers. They're using analytics as a tool, not a blueprint, and they continue to kick ass and take names. Taysom Hill looked just like Drew Brees. It looked like they called the exact same game to me. They didn't let him overextend himself. They did everything that was comfortable for him, and then they let his weapons win the game for him. People like Thomas, people like my man Alvin Kamara, and they won the game. Shout out to the New Orleans Saints, and yeah, I'm a Jameis Winston guy. Hopefully he'll end up in Cleveland somewhere. I'm not even gonna waste my breath and say Chicago, but big ups to the Saints. The vaunted Washington racial slurs and the Cincinnati Bungles.
Defense was key to that game. Washington defense is a lot better than what's portrayed. I guess the offense. So it made it put together. And then we know that Burrow went down. Mixon was out, so like we were a little stagnant in regards to that. Truthfully, who was the second quarterback that came in? What was the guy's name? What was it? Anybody know? One of y'all?
I have no idea.
Like that's crazy. Like I end up like I cannot tell you who even came in. Was it Finley? Brian Finley. That's what it was being. But it was it was bad from the start. And the Bungles.
I just think this is a situation where two teams are at the stage one of rebuilding. It was a dumpster fire from the beginning. Had Joe Burrow not been Joe Mixon, and the other people that's impressive in Cincinnati been there to play, I think it'd have been turned out different. But Washington, somebody has to not necessarily. Somebody got to win, lose. But it could definitely be a tie. It's just a situation where two teams are in the rebuilding mode. Ron Rivera and the Washington football team, they pulled it out, but it's not so impressive. But shout out to Chase Young. He ain't joking. Carolina Panthers step out here and shut out the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions, talk to me.
Hey, man, shout out to PJ Tucker, man. I mean, he had 2 interceptions, but I mean, he took command of that offense, man. And and the Lions, man, they didn't show up. Actually, you know what?
You mean PJ Walker? Sorry. PJ Walker. Yeah, you said Tucker, the basketball player. It's a natural mistake.
But Swift went out with that concussion that came out of nowhere in practice. That hurt them.
I think
he runs the way he can run and catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he the last 3 weeks he had been averaging close to maybe 110 scrimmage yards.
Yep.
So he's open enough for Hall and Galladay hasn't been there, but for the other 2 receivers in the Hopkins. But yeah, it was to a point where they just couldn't move the ball. Man.
Another example of this is why I take away greatness, even though I love Bill Belichick. I'm a big time fan of Bill Belichick, but Bill Belichick has only produced one coach that has looked like he knew what the hell he was doing, and that's Brian Flores down there in Miami. This is another example of racism biting the National Football League in the behind. Jim Caldwell should have been the coach. He never had a losing season. He lost after winning 9 games. I.e. Lovie Smith must be going around the Central Division just do stupid stuff with black coaches. But I'm glad the Detroit Lions are losing. I want them to continue to lose until they pay for what they did to the Cold Crush. My man, Jim Caldwell. On the other hand, as you said, P.J. Walker, again, another example of stop drafting people at the Underwear Olympics, a.k.a. the Combine. Enough of that. Draft people on their ability to play the game. P.J. Walker went to the Rudy Poo League, kicked ass, took names. Now he got a shot. Man, big ups to him, mad love to him, and I'm glad he crushed him because you know what? I do believe he just bought himself 5 years in the National Football League with 1 game because he will be able to bank. You will always be able to pull up this tape and see what he did. Big ups to him. With that being said, I don't even want to go over this Pittsburgh-Jacksonville game. It was a whole lot of talent versus a little bit of talent, and there it is. The Deacon Dales versus the Tennessee Tuxedos. Talk to me.
Man, the Ravens got a kryptonite. It just so happened to be the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tennessee Titans. I don't know what it is, but that's some odd reason that's the team that keeps whooping on. I don't know if it's the running game from it has to be the running game because I don't believe it's Brian Tannehill at all. But some odd reason we said it a couple times tonight already. We don't know what's going on. Well, we know what's going on in regards to the coach, in regards to the locker room. But something got changed.
Personally, this is the difference. Oh, you know what? Vabro is one of Bill Belichick's assistants. I'll take that back. Need myself to grab a near his chair and because I was wrong. Vabro is the an assistant of Bill Belichick, and he coached under Bill Belichick. But this is another clear example of playing football. Football is about a grown man deciding to move another grown man against his will. You saw Brown truck these guys with the Ravens. Derrick Henry is trucking the league. And it's just a situation to whereas if you don't do what you have to do, these dudes will run you into the ground. Maybe what's his name? Fat Bastard is taking their mojo because the Baltimore Ravens, I'm not about to sit around and let people say this is a Lamar Jackson job. It's not. It's a Harbaugh and it's a Toughness job. Guess what? It seems that y'all did need Ozzie Newsome. Y'all let him retire, and since he's retired, y'all have not replaced any of the toughness that he created. Jim Harbaugh, you in deep doo-doo, my friend. You are going to lose your job. The Houston Texans versus the New England Patriots. Talk to me, Illinois.
Hey man, I would say this, and anybody can debate it. In my opinion, man, Deshaun Watson is the top 3 quarterback.
I don't think you get a whole lot of pushback for that, though.
Even though he ain't got too much to work with, two of his receivers went out. They don't really have a running game, but I mean, as far as the short to intermediate passing game, he can work on his deep run, but man, that dude is off the chain. And plus, I mean, the Cams, they actually, man, if they had another probably 4 more games added to the season, they'll probably make the playoffs.
They still got a chance. Nobody run away with that division.
It's not happening this round.
No, I'm saying, I said a chance. They still got a chance.
Because, I mean, he finally was able to show off his arm, and they got that kid Harris, he running. I mean, it's just a matter of Deshaun Watson was better than they defense, man.
I totally agree with you. I've been a Deshaun Watson. I'm not a Clemson guy. I like the brothers at quarterback. So Tosh Boyd before him, Deshaun Watson since him, and then they even had another guy there. who ended up transferring to the University of Missouri. That's how I got turned on to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is actually, if the NFL again wasn't so racist, Deshaun Watson would be a Chicago Bear. There's no other way. There's no way to put it. No other way to put it. You mean to tell me you got a guy who finished back-to-back seasons, number 2 in Heisman, beat one of the toughest teams, lost to one of the toughest teams by 3, came back and beat one of the toughest teams in the history of college football by a touchdown. I mean, actually, they boat raced their ass. But you and this guy is in Houston. I think I was listening to somebody's show last week, and they asked Deacon. Yeah, it was on Deacon Dale's show. And they asked the question, is there some type of unwritten rule that when you're a black quarterback, they got to trade away all your weapons? It started to look that way because if Deshaun Watson had all his weapons, they'd be kicking ass and taking names. And again, it goes back to Bill Belichick. Whatever you can't do well, we're going to attack it. Shout out to Bill Belichick. Shout out to Cam Newton. And just imagine if all 8 of those dudes who checked out for COVID wouldn't have checked out for COVID, the New England Patriots would not be treading water with a brick on their back. But they, at this point, they are more than likely they will not make the playoffs, but they do have an outside chance. Anytime you got Bill Belichick with an outside chance, you got a chance to do something. The Miami Dolphins and the Denver Broncos. Joe, go for it.
Wow, man. Defense really on Tua. As we talked about, I got him off the game. Fitzpatrick, couldn't shine. We wasn't expecting him. That running game on Denver is formidable and doing their thing. It's a bad out. Their defense on the Broncos side is took over.
This is a meeting of the minds. Vic Fangio versus Flores. I think they played. This was a chess match. This was good old fashioned bust you in the mouth football. Let's see what happens. Denver just happened to pull it out. I think this is a promising Denver Bronco team. Had they not had the COVID situation, the injury situation that they had, this Denver Bronco team may be in a totally different situation. Again, like I said at the top of the show, I'm not really tripping on the fact that the Miami Dolphins took my man Tua out. You got a young quarterback. I don't want to Derek Carr him. I don't want to put him in a bad situation. The offensive line was playing like they wasn't getting paid this week, so I would set them down too. And you got the New York the New York Jets versus the Chargers. Talk to me about what happened.
Hey, man, the match going to get that rookie of the year, buddy, man. The Herbert. The way it was looking, man, I thought that Keenan Allen was going to have about 25 catches, man. But once again, man, if you continue to throw in the second half when you really didn't have to. Actually, you know what? The Chargers defense started, I don't know if they went into that prevent because the Jets started actually running the ball and scoring. So, but they still, I know that they missed it. Austin, Austin Keller, sorry. But you still got to try to run the ball, man. But he rises to the occasion, though, man. I got to give him his props so far, man.
Man, I can't put any. I'm a college football, big time college football fan. I watch a lot of midnight college football. I'm up all times of the night watching. I used to watch Herbert play a lot, and he used to choke his ass off. I had no idea that he would be a solid pro. When he got drafted, I was like, what a dumbass pick. But guess what? I'm a dumbass because I didn't know Anthony Lynn will coach him up like this. These guys in San Diego are coaching the hell out of this team. They got a ton of injuries. This COVID thing don't help none. So the Chargers are not the team that we expected them to be, but they're not as bad as they are looking. The Jets need to just, as the acronym goes, just end the season. Adam Gase, if you own a house in the city of New York, if you're not from New York, I'm going to need you to start packing because it should be over for you, but we never know. This is the National Football League, and he got the complexion for the protection. Joe, the Green Bay Packers versus the Indianapolis Colts. What's going on?
Run the football. That's exactly what they did. The Colts did in the second half, as well as a great defense. So a great defense put together. They're playing on regards to keeping Aaron Rodgers off the field. I mean, keeping pressure on Aaron Rodgers and making sure to get him off the field as quickly as possible. And the offense of the Indianapolis Colts make sure they catch Aaron Rodgers from the sideline. I'm excited. Even though I did think that Packers was gonna win this game, started off beginning of the week. I'm glad Coach proved me wrong.
Good old-fashioned football again. There's been a lot of good football, but the closer you get to the end of the year, the better football is being played. The more you remove the computers and let it's not about the Willards and the Joes. It's about the X's and the O's. The Colts stood up, and again, this is another team that I just don't have any faith in that quarterback. If you could switch the teams, if you could switch the quarterbacks on these teams, the Colts would be the darlings of the NFL because Aaron Rodgers would have them on the roll, but they don't. They can't. Dallas Cowboys, Minnesota Vikings. Talk to me, Big Illinois.
Hey, man, the Cowboys actually showed signs of life as far as on offense, man, running the ball. I mean, they even had turnovers from Cook, but Adam Thielen, that he might be turning into one of the better pass catchers in the league. But man, it was the Cowboys finally played a complete game. Well, it wasn't complete. I mean, they still gave up points, but the defense showed up as well.
Yeah, most likely, most definitely. The Minnesota Vikings are in disarray. They are a Mack truck going down a mountain at 95 with the pedal stuck. They're not looking good. They need to sign up for the Jets. Sign up with the Jets and just end the season with the Vikes. The Dallas Cowboys, fool's goal. I don't give a damn what they do down there. They're going to lose. I have zero respect for Mike McCarthy. I have zero respect for Mike Nolan. It took you 10 weeks to realize running the football, moving Zach Martin from the right to the left. It took you 10 weeks for that. This is the stupidest team in the history of the league. And if you're going to play stupid, you're going to get stupid results. I can't wait till this season is over so we don't have to hear anything else about the Dallas Cowboys, Minnesota Vikings, the Chicago Bears, and the fucking and a couple other teams in the league. Which leads me to the team that I'm going to take the lead on, my Oakland Raiders versus the number one rival, the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. Well, I'm just going to call them the Raiders. They had so many damn towns, Oakland, LA, and LV. The Raiders played a very good game. They played it the way they should have played it. Slow the game down, methodically walk the ball upfield, run the clock down, slow down Patrick Mahomes. But when you don't have any defense, you don't have any chance of beating the Kansas City Chiefs. But hey, you know what? I am not a fan of Chucky, but I got to give it up to him. He did his very best. Don't hike the ball before 10 seconds to go. Each play, you do everything you can to keep these boys off the field. But this dude is the new Dan Marino. He's a combination Dan Marino, Joe Montana. He got the arm of Dan. Huh?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that last drive, that was too easy for them, man.
Yeah, the Raiders' defense is horrible. Hopefully, since the Vikings are on the roll of doing stupid stuff, hopefully they fire Zimmerman. My man hires Zimmerman. Chucky hires Zimmerman, and then the Raiders got a real football team. If they don't do that, they're all right, but they're not real. But what I will do is quote the homie Raider Kev. If, and only if, it would be very interesting if the Raiders make the playoffs and end up facing the Kansas City Chiefs in the first round. That would be insanely interesting because this is one team that the Raiders... I've been a Raider fan, Mandela. I've been a Raider fan since 1975. I was born in Chicago, so I root for the Bears naturally. But the team that I grew up and picked because the Bears used to be mad horrible from the time I was 6 years old until the time I was 15 years old, or 13, 14 years old. The Bears used to be horrible, and this is my story. I used to watch the Bears get their teeth kicked in on a weekly basis, turn to Channel 5, NBC, and NBC5 in Chicago, and the Raiders would be on, out of 16 weeks, they'd be on 12 weeks. No BS. It was either the Raiders or the Steelers on every week. Black my favorite color. I've always liked the Raiders. That's my story, and that's what time it is. But yeah, Las Vegas Raiders are my favorite team in the history of sports. bar none. There's no other team I root for harder than I root for the Raiders. Period. But Patrick Mahomes, like I was saying, he's a combination Joe Montana and Dan Marino. He got Dan Marino arm. He got Joe Montana ability to improvise and move around the field and make things happen. I've never seen anything like this young brother. I'm enjoying watching him play. Even though he beat my team, at the end of the day, it goes all the way back. Matt Ryan will never be the new Dan Marino. On his best day, Matt Ryan ain't Dan Marino on his worst day. I would take Dan Marino tonight at damn near 60 years old before I take Matt Ryan at 22. I'm gonna keep it funky with you. No way in hell. Lester Hayes, yes sir, bro. Lester Hayes, Mike Haynes, Bill Pickel. People don't realize before Bill Pickel went to the Jets, he played for the Raiders. Lyle Alzado, John Matuzak, all them dudes. I bet Rod Smith, all them guys, man. My main man who should be in the Hall of Fame, I can't think of his name right now. He's number 1. He was number 90. He's top of the screen on the defensive end side of the game. I can't think of his name. I think of his name by the end of the night, though. But, yeah, I've been a Raider fan my whole life. I root for the Bears because I'm from Chicago. I'm Chicago all day, every day. But if I had to only pick one team to root for, it will be the Raiders. It would definitely be the Raiders, my man. And ain't no shame in that. Last night, either one of y'all could take this. Los Angeles versus Tampa Bay. I didn't even listen to the goofball Skip Bayless today because I didn't want to hear all them damn excuses he was going to make. Either one of y'all could take the floor on this game because I don't really want to talk about it.
Oh, man. The Rams defense showed up and showed out. I think he was putting Ziggler on Tom Brady. And on the offensive side, man, Goff was doing his thing. And that man, you know, he did his thing. So they actually played a great game overall. Scored a little bit closer than it needed to be, but dang, they had to do. Tom Brady didn't look good at all. You know, when you call him Logan, he was definitely Logan. So,
hey, what y'all think about Buddy threw him under the bus again?
That's his style.
There was a lot of people saying that he shouldn't be throwing him under the bus. I'm saying that he played like shit. He played like shit. Right. Man. So he was throwing Winston Jameson's under the bus like that last year.
Remember, he's like, man, if we can win with Winston, we can win with anybody. And I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm gonna come out here, and since I be calling out people for their racist tendencies, I'm gonna call myself for overstepping the racist situation. I thought it was some racial shit. But dude, just a supreme dickhead. And if you're gonna be a dickhead with Jameis Winston, turn around and be a dickhead with Tom Brady, I apologize. HRap D, I got to give it to myself. HRap, thinking the man was on the racist side because Jameis was black. I was wrong. You're wrong. I apologize to you, Bruce Arians, but I had never seen nobody call out big time ball players like that publicly. But if you got the balls to call out Tom Brady, hey, I can't get mad at you for calling out Jameis Winston. So I was dead ass wrong. Bruce Arians, I ain't mad at you. A couple weeks ago, I was listening to the Shannon Sharp show, and Shannon Sharp said, this is what the man been doing the whole get down. So y'all put a mic in front of Blowhard's face, and you don't expect him to open up the church on Tom Brady? No, he gonna preach on him too. I ain't mad at him. No sir. And only people that's mad is these white boys who keep idolizing Tom Brady and acting like he ain't falling off. The brother is one of the greatest quarterbacks. He's one of the most accomplished quarterbacks in the history of the league. One of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen. He's not the GOAT. I'm not finna even go there. But he's had this problem his whole career. He's a flincher. If you hit him, he flinches. Well, hell, in Tom Brady's defense, I used to play wide receiver. I stopped playing wide receiver because I got hit. Didn't like it. I was like, well, I could start hitting. Forget this. So I'm not calling the man a punk for that because that's why I stopped playing offense. Enough of getting hit. I want to hit. But that's why I don't make Tom Brady the GOAT. It ain't got nothing to do. See, I'm not a dude who do this. Oh, you got this many Super Bowls, so you must be the greatest of all time. No, because some of the greatest ball players you ever seen in your life in every sport does not have a ring. So, hey, man, if you can call out Jameis Winston and say he's messing up and kick him in his head, Tom Brady, you better wear your helmet because Bruce Arians is kicking folks in the head. I ain't got no problem with that. Since you asked the questions, do you have a problem with it?
No, I mean, if that's, no.
Yeah, I ain't got no problem.
So is Brady beyond being called out?
Nobody. It's like Chris Rock said years ago when he was talking about if you should hit somebody or not. Nobody's above ass whooping.
I mean, but it's kind of, it's rare that you have anybody of his stature be called out like that.
Is that a bad thing or a good thing?
I mean, I think it's respecting.
So you don't like it?
You don't want me to tell you when you play like trash?
You gotta tell the whole world.
The whole world doing
I play like trash. Pull me to the side. I got 20 years in the game. Respect my gangsters, fool.
So what if he called out a 5-year guy? What if he called out Justin Herbert? Would you have a problem with it in the same fashion? And I'm not trying to debate you. I'm just trying to understand your line of thinking.
I mean, I have no problem with him calling him out. I'm just saying that it's rare for somebody to do that.
I've never seen it.
That's what I'm saying. It's rare. That's why it was like, damn, if that's his get up and that's how he's been with his Kango on to the back, call him up when he's out. Hey, respect, man.
Yeah, hey, BA for president at this point, man.
But hey, you know what though? Maybe it's a couple superstars that could have benefited from that though.
Yes.
Right. So,
yeah, so you're right. Hey, man, again, man, I was dead ass wrong. I ain't got no problem saying it. I ain't got no problem writing it in the sky. Shout out to BA. Because you know what? At least, see, that's why I like the Tuna. That's why I like Jimmy. That's why I like the Tuna, Jimmy, Tomlin. What it said from the outside looking in, my man Denny Green, rest in peace. That's why I like them. Because if you jacking off, you gonna get cuffed. I'm gonna grab you off in the yoke and I'm gonna check you. Hey man, as long as you doing it to everybody, you can do it to me. But you ain't just gonna call me out. Hey man, don't nobody want to be Poe, but a lot of us are.
Right.
If you don't want to be criticized, God damn it, don't fuck up. And to be perfectly honest with you, I love it even more because I saw one of my favorite quarterbacks in the history of the game, the dude who I personally think is the greatest quarterback of all time, Joe Montana. I saw him throw a ball in the Houston Astrodome. It went end over end, looked like he threw the dude a boot. I think he hit Terry McVanover with this pass. The worst pass I ever threw. And you should have heard Dick Enberg and whoever else was with him that day. And they was ball washing this man like you wouldn't believe. And I'm like, see, this is what make people hate you. And Tom Brady, you have been skating a lot of the time you have had some awesome moments, but a lot of times you have skated and then nobody want to say Tom Brady stunk last night. BA, again, man, shout out to BA for being a badass. And to those motherfuckers who don't want to call them out, y'all not doing y'all job. Period. I ain't got no problem with it, big dog. And you're right. And you know what, big dog? I don't even think it's rare. That's a one-off. Rare means it happens every 10 years. This has happened, what's the NFL, 75, 80 years old? I've never heard the best player in the league, one of the best players of all time, get criticized publicly. But you know what, dog?
But even what's-called didn't even do that to Tim Duncan.
But Tim Duncan wasn't playing like shit. He was just too old. He couldn't do it no more. And another thing, Tim kept playing because they kept asking him to come back. Tim Duncan didn't go sign up with LeBron and D Wade and them and talking about, I'm finna be killing it. Because at the end of the day, big dog, let's be honest. I want both of y'all personal, honest opinion. Tom Brady did exactly what LeBron James get criticized for. Nobody has said a word. If he ain't playing up to the Tom Brady standard, ain't he supposed to be getting called out? I'm listening.
He should be. He definitely should be. And that's why when I do watch Skip and Shannon, I do appreciate Shannon because he call him out. He tell him, hey, if you calling this man the GOAT, he needs to play like the GOAT as much as possible. So when he doesn't play like the GOAT, or he doesn't play up to snuff, call him out. Don't give him excuses because when he was playing like your so-called GOAT, the receivers wasn't excuses, the defense wasn't an excuse, the offensive line wasn't an excuse. Don't try and call it out because you lost. So yeah, give him the criticize.
Illinois, Compton, Jersey.
It goes without saying, man. I mean, from LeBron is public enemy number one as far as with being criticized as far as in the NBA.
Yeah, because this dude went to where they signed the boy who was with Philadelphia, Shaky Sean. Let me see, Shaky Sean, the boy Leonard Fournette, and Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski. They already had a Pro Bowl tight end. They already had 2 Pro Bowl caliber wide receivers, and then they went and got offensive linemen for him, and nobody's asking. And again, Illinois, what I'm about to say is not a shot at you, but you question if Lamar Jackson and Tua was reading the defense. What's up with this dude? He getting popped on his ass, and he looking like trash, and he ain't throwing as many interceptions as Jameis, but I goddamn, if he throw 12, I don't want to hear nothing about Jameis. If he throw 12 interceptions, I don't want to hear nothing. Nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. Teams that have never won the Super Bowl, J. Ron, off the top of my head, the Buffalo Bills, the Cleveland Browns, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Tennessee Titans / Houston Oilers, the Houston, Texas, Jacksonville, Kansas City. Jacksonville, the Chargers, the Arizona Cardinals, the Detroit Lions, the Falcons, and that's it. Off the top of the dome. I may have missed one. The Vikings as well. And that was just off the top of the dome, J. Ron. Let's switch gears, man. This NFL thing is over. You know what? I almost made a mistake. We're going to do this NBA thing. What we're going to do is this pick and pick on. Let's go. Let's do this fast so we get to this football. We got the Houston Texans versus the Pittsburgh Detroit Lions.
Give me the Lions.
All right. Got the Texans as well. The racial slurs versus the Cowboys.
Give me the Cowboys.
I'm going with the racial slurs.
I might go with... No, give me Cowboys. Give me Cowboys. I'm cool.
The Deacon Dales versus the Mike Tomlins.
Give me the Deacon Dale.
For the upset.
Give me the Tomlins.
You know what?
You got their number.
You better not put that down on your list because you're going to lose that one. The Deacon Dale's got a whole lot of COVID. I'm going with the Tomlins. The HRaps versus the Sluggos. The Falcons.
Give me the Falcons.
No need to even answer that question. The Craig Gants versus the Rough Buffs. The Chargers versus the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo.
I'm going black coach. The Chief Rockets versus the Tiffany Sports and Hills hometowns. I'm going to go with the Chief Rockets. No, she's from Cincinnati.
Brown? Oh, yeah, give me the Rockets.
They playing who?
The Cincinnati Bengals versus the Giants.
Oh, give me the Giants.
Give me the Mandelions versus the Nobodies. The Jaguars.
The DeLeon.
Yeah, give me the DeLeon.
Give me the Tuxedos versus the Tennessee Tuxedos versus the Joes.
I'm rolling with the Joes.
You know what? I'm gonna roll with I'm gonna go against them. I'm going with Tennessee.
Give me the Mamas, aka the Miami Dolphins versus the Jets.
You know, the Dolphins.
That was a waste of boxes. The Carolina Panthers versus the RCs.
Panthers Vikings. Ooh, RC. I can't even trust your team, man. Like they kind of wild. I'm going with the Panthers.
I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
I'm going with the Panthers. The Cardinals versus the Patriots.
Cardinals.
Right, I'm going with the black quarterback, man. Cam. Young black quarterback. I'm going with the black quarterback. The old black quarterback.
Okay.
The Aints.
Kind of like 25% black.
Oh, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, 100% black.
Oh, that's Mama Korean.
100% black, man. When the police pull over, they don't go, "Oh, your mama Korean. We ain't gonna kick your ass and shoot you."
Hey man, he ain't 100% black, man. So you know I ain't gonna say that.
The Saints versus the Broncos. The Jay Twices versus the Broncos.
Right.
I got can't pick the Donkeys, so I got them. The Rams will beat the beat up 49ers. No need in having that conversation. The Mahomes versus
What are you doing?
the Yuccaneers.
You know what? Give me give me Kate.
Aaron Rodgers makes a triumphant comeback and beat the Bears.
Yeah.
And the Seabags beat the hell out of the Eagles. Sorry, Microwave. 24-12. I submitted my picks. That's what they is. All right, man. The NBA, man, we got a couple more minutes, man. We're going to probably put a couple minutes into this. The National Basketball Association. Who killed it in free guys?
Man, truthfully, man, I put it in a couple baskets. I'm gonna say the Lakers, of course. I get Trez, Schroeder, and Wes Matthews. That gave him another point guard, a backup point guard, gave more defense, and replaced JaVale, like JaVale, Rondo, and all of that. The Bucks got better. Drew Holiday going over. Got more shooting with the Bogdanovic. That's his name. He came over, and then Phoenix. Getting Chris Paul over there, adding him on. I mean, those are the top 3 off-season moves for me.
Yeah, I mean, so far, man, you gotta say the Lakers, man. They're still making moves, and I thought they was way over the cap. And also Milwaukee, too, man. There was another team I had wrote down. And it was Lakers, Milwaukee. Steven Adams for the Pelicans, that was a good pickup too.
I think that was a wasted pickup.
That takes some of the pressure off of Wiggy. You ain't got to do all the rebounds.
Bye-bye. I would say the Lakers most definitely, Milwaukee Bucks second. Milwaukee Bucks really solidified the ability to play basketball. What I did like is the fact that they gave, with Jrue Holiday, man, Jrue Holiday is a damn good ball player. He's one of the most underrated. I hate seeing his ass as many times as I do in Chicago, but I'm going to like seeing his ass cook. I knew the Lakers got bird rights on 2 guys. So the 2 guys they got bird rights on, they re-signed them. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and that other dude. It looks like they're going to get one of the twins back. So it's going down, man. I wish they would have been able to sign Boogie back. It is what it is.
Man, shout out to Boogie. Boogie he got another chance. I hope the injury is not real his career. I really hope he gets healthy and he's able to finish this season. I'll be watching. Of course, he's here in Houston, so I'm going to be seeing as much as possible as long as he plays.
I wonder what type of offense they're going to run in Houston.
No clue. You don't even know if Harden and Russell Westbrook going to be there. They still trying to figure that out, what they're going to do with them.
They need to go. Washington needs to stop bullshitting and just trade John Wall down now. Because
John Wall for him, too. John Wall ain't played in 2 years.
John Wall ain't played in 2 years, and Russell Westbrook ain't played in 10.
I wouldn't make that trade.
I would. Me personally, what are y'all thoughts on James Harden not wanting to be a Houston Rocket simply because of the team owner is a Trump supporter?
I mean, there's a lot of things he ain't gonna want to play for me.
Right. I think that's an escape way they go to try and get out of there, get out of Houston. I mean, truthfully, I'm not turning down two years, $50 million. No, I'm not turning that down. I mean, come on now. But it's honestly bigger reason he is. He's using the whole, my team owners and Trump supporters, like you said, in Illinois. That's gonna be everywhere you go. I think he's ready to get out of that situation.
It's just, to me, it just kind of shows the inconsistency of NBA fans and sports fans in general. Because, again, Kevin Durant disrespected because he did what people say he left. Paul George, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James didn't give those two team owners any headway about them leaving. They left them in the lurch. Paul George, Anthony Davis says, you know what? I ain't re-signing with y'all, so y'all might as well trade me now and get something for me, so y'all won't be potentially going, so y'all won't be talking that nonsense when I leave next year. And what happens? They get disrespected. Everybody want to sign up on the Russell Westbrook and the Paul and James Harden bandwagon because they asked to play together. They failed miserably, and nobody's dissing them. So it's just another example of I don't really know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just talking because the rest of the world is talking. I think it's some sucker stuff. Y'all want to be together, stay together, make it work. Y'all also asked for this coach to be there, and on the surface, people are not gonna criticize him because it's easy to. That's the easiest out in the world. He support Trump, and what team else? Only person we know for sure that what we would assume has a great chance of not supporting Trump is Michael Jordan. The rest of these dudes, they might be kicking it with Trump right now. They might be blowing some drinks back with the man right now. So it's some stuff.
Toronto, what's his Mazier?
No, I'm talking about team owner. That's the team president.
Oh, that man.
Okay, I got two more things and then we out of here. Y'all saw what I sent y'all yesterday. What's in y'all opinion? The NBA draft was last week. People always call it anticlimactic. And as even the pregame that I played today, the dude said unknown star, unknown player, Damon Stoudemire, which lets me know that dude is actually obviously from another country, because you can't be the starting point guard on one of the biggest name universities in the United States of America and become unknown. So Damon Stoudemire, and again, it just shows you people just, if you're not on ESPN every 5 minutes, people are not going to give you the respect that you're supposed to get. But what would you guys say the best, I got on here 5, but give me the top 3 NBA drafts in your personal opinion that yielded the most productive players and that yada yada, this, that, and that.
I mean, mine's going to be a cop-out. But I'll leave it as Trump. I'm going to say 84, because that's what Dream, Jordan, Barkley, the guy 96, Iverson, Bryant, Marbury, Ray Allen, and I got 03. Got the Eagles, LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh. He got none of them. I mean, those are my top 3.
And man, mine gonna kind of be a homer. You got the 87 draft with David Robinson. Because didn't I think it was Mark Jackson, Pippen winning the same draft, and Reggie Miller, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
In the 87 draft, so David Robinson was first. You had to go.
I think David Robinson was 88, wasn't he?
No, he was drafted in 87. If I'm not mistaken, I need to double check.
You're right. I just looked it up. I just looked it up.
Now you got to go with 84. You know what? I don't want to pick the LeBron draft, man. So let me I'm thinking back to.
I'm looking at this draft, and you acted a fool with this one. You're right.
You know what? Maybe the year that Kobe was drafted.
96.
Connecticut had just won the championship with Ray Allen, right?
No, they didn't win the championship with Ray Allen. Ray Allen never won a national championship with college, but they was contending, yeah.
Get to like the Final Four. I know he was highly thought of something to the draft. I know that much.
Yes, indeed.
And I know Allen Iverson was in the same draft.
Yeah, man,
that was 80. That was 96.
Wow, you acted a fool with this 87, dog. I overlooked it. Greg Cadillac Anderson, just at the bottom of the draft. Greg Cadillac Anderson, Reggie Lewis, rest in peace. Ken Snake Norman, Mark Jackson, Muggsy Bogues, Reggie Miller, Horace Grant, Kevin Johnson, Kenny Smith, Scottie Pippen, and David Robinson. You cut up with that one, dog. I'll give you that one. Yeah. Shout out to Big Illinois. That was a hidden gem, man. I'm thinking about that.
Who's in the draft with Tim Duncan, man? Tim Duncan? Tim Duncan and
that was the 97 draft, wasn't it?
Tim Duncan and Tim Duncan.
The Tim Duncan draft, actually, on face value, the Tim Duncan draft was damn good. Tim Duncan, you had Keith Van Horn, who made an All-Star team as well. He got his injuries taken. He took him down. You have, on face value, Ron Mercer was a big-time ball player. Tim Thomas, who's been a friend of the show, was in there. You had Tracy McGrady. That might be it. Scott Pollard had a solid career.
Hey, you know who I used to think was the shit in college, man? He had a decent pro career. From North Carolina, Antoine Jameson.
Damn good college ball player. Damn good college ball player. Antoine Jameson, player of the year coming out of college. Well, my top three will be the 2003 with LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and that crew. The 1984 and the number one draft will be Kobe, 1996. Those are the top three to me. You can take them in any order. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to preview these divisions because the NBA is starting up in less than a month. We're going to do 2 a week every week until we get it done. We're going to do the Eastern Conference this week, and we're going to do the Eastern Conference. Where are my notes? We're going to do the Eastern Conference Atlantic Division. That's the division with the Knicks, the Boston Celtics, Toronto Raptors, Brooklyn Nets, and Boston Celtics. I'll start first. I do believe this is going to be one of the stronger divisions in basketball. I think the Toronto Raptors will come back with a vengeance. We don't know what this COVID thing. I'm predicting a very strong finish for the Philadelphia 76ers because the 76ers are a very good team. I'm expecting more development under the tutelage of one Glenn Doc Rivers. I'm not expecting a lot from the Knicks because they don't have a lot of talent, and I don't anticipate Thibodeau getting them to buy into this. The Boston Celtics should be pretty good, but if I were going to rank them, I would go Boston Celtics, Toronto Raptors, Brooklyn Nets, Philadelphia, and New York Knicks.
Man, my thoughts exactly. As the preview going on, I saw 4 of these 5 teams being in the playoffs last year, so I definitely think no true changes in regards to what's going on. In regards to Brooklyn, supposedly it got better by adding, having Kyrie and Kevin Durant adding on, so I knew there would be formidable in regards to this. But yeah, I pretty much had the same thing. I had Boston, Toronto, Brooklyn, Philly, and then New York, so pretty much had the same thing. This might be a competitive division, except for this.
You know what? And this is if these cats can stay healthy. I got and that's a big if. I got the Nets win the division. Sixers coming in second. The Raptors And well, the Knicks come in last. Damn, you know what, man? I can't forget about the Celtics. You got Boston falling off like that, don't you? You know what? Let me change that. I got the Brooklyn Nets first. The Sixers should come in second or battle it out for that first. That's gonna be like within like 1 or 2 games of each other. At the end, I got Boston third and then Toronto fourth.
Well, I mean, it's going to be one of the more competitive divisions. It's good to see divisions in the Eastern Conference being competitive again because everybody likes to pretend that when LeBron James is in the East, well, nobody out there, but we know that's a lie. If you watch basketball, you know it's a lie. Even though the NBA is probably one of the worst leagues in regards to parity in the history of sports. Denver Nuggets in the the Western Conference Northwest Division. This division is going to be a cakewalk. The Denver Nuggets is going to run away with this cartoon. I don't have a whole lot of faith in the Utah Jazz. The Portland Trailblazers are hot and cold. They're unpredictable. Without Chris Paul, I anticipate that Oklahoma City Thunder being last. Next to last would be the Minnesota Timberwolves. I don't have a whole lot of, unless this dude is the next coming to Dwayne Wade Edwards out of Georgia, then I don't have a lot of faith in them. I will say that the Portland Trailblazers with Dame Lillard, to me, Dame Lillard takes way too many human highlight film shots for the Portland Trailblazers to ever win anything. And the Denver Nuggets is clearly one of the better teams in the Western Conference. I anticipate them picking up where they left off at. I am a firm believer in losing is the best thing to happen to a young, growing team because then it forces you never to fall back on your laurels and make yourself a better player. I'm anticipating Denver doing that. I'm hoping the big homeboy Joker will just get in better shape. And the Denver Nuggets are expecting big things out of y'all. Michael Porter Jr., they drafted another young Thundercat. The Denver Nuggets are a very good, well-coached team. They were young, and that's why they couldn't beat the Lakers. And we will see, in my personal opinion, we will see a vast difference in Denver Nugget basketball this season. They've had a taste of success. They're going to kick ass and take names. If you ask me.
I totally agree. As far as it goes, Denver shouldn't fall off the well. Right back to the top of the division. Probably going to be the easiest one to win. I have a little more faith in Utah than you do, but I still don't have it with the division, so that's just not that much more faith. Portland, as long as they stay healthy, they should be formidable as well to get in a playoff situation. Minnesota's all about what's happening with this player they just drafted. He's coming out and they can make everything happen. Minnesota should be formidable. I don't feel a lot of teams that they're going to have to overcome. But you'll see with them. OKC is going to be running in the lottery in regards to what's going on with them. They lost as many people as they could. Pretty much had a fire sale. That was actually one of my biggest losers of the free agency weekend or this off-season. So it's going to be terrible for them. Yeah. You know what, man? I guess you have to almost give it to the Nuggets. Say the Nuggets, the Jazz. Yeah, I think they're gonna be the top two teams in that division because I didn't see anybody else really. The Mavericks is not in their division; they're in the first division.
Right.
Yeah, I guess you have to go Nuggets, Jazz, Trailblazers. Why are they getting my thing like this? Yeah, is they still going by the playoff seeding like they had the play-in games? Or?
Oh, it's gonna be crazy this year. Like 7 and 8 gonna play, and 9 and 10 gonna play, and the loser of that play 7 or play 8. It's gonna get weird. Believe me, it's really a tournament to get 7 and 8 seeds.
But yeah, but I don't see nobody really. If the Nuggets continue to play hard and the way that they run their offense through the big man, that's gonna be a hard team to beat. Actually, the Nuggets might be the second best team in the Western Conference at this point.
It's definitely going to be interesting. And then they continue to add very good ball players to their situation. They continue to add very good ball players. They continue to get younger. Michael Porter Jr. can only get better. Let's not forget, this is a kid who was anticipated to be the next Kevin Durant. So if you're going to be anticipated to be in the next Kevin Durant, you got to show and prove. And I don't think it's difficult for him. He's finally healthy. They got a good coach. They got a good core. They play together. They play defense. It's hard. It's going to be hard as hell to beat the Denver Nuggets, especially with Eastern Conference, Western Conference Finals experience. Again, especially with Western Conference Finals experience. I thought if they were going to fall off, I thought last year was the year that they would fall off. They didn't. They impressed the hell out of me. So, hey, man, I can't do nothing but hope and pray for the best. It looks like these dudes are here to stay. And barring some freak injury, I don't anticipate them losing anything.
As long as they stop giving Millsap more minutes than Porter Jr.
Well, Porter Jr. this is his first year playing, so I'm not gonna load a dude up with a bad back on minutes. You know, this is a kid who ain't played basketball consistently since high school. So you got a whole year he didn't play, and then his freshman year in college he didn't play primarily. He only played like 4 games, so I wouldn't have given him a lot of time anyway. Especially when you got one of the better teams in the National Basketball Association without him. Now that you add him, it's just insane. With that being said, man, it's time to hit the wrap it up button. You guys get y'all parting shots, and we out.
All right, you know me, as I always say, man, hey, everybody be safe out there. See you all next week. Wash your hands, keep the mask on. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, man. Once again, man, thanks for letting me. I'm sorry, man. My grandparents beat me up and doing all kinds of hold up. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thanks, V, for letting me be on. You know, he ain't paying me no more, but I'm saying happy Thanksgiving, man. Be safe. Chill out for a second, man. Everybody be safe. Peace.
Hey, y'all, man. Tune in tomorrow to Theory of the Culture. Tune in tomorrow to the Happy Hour with Deacon Dale in the backyard. Theory of the Culture Thursday. Knox and Big Illinois Friday. Unless he cancels, have a special guest by the name of Andre Thomas. He was a former man of the evening, aka a pimp, named Andre Thomas. I used to call him Gorgeous Dre. The reason I have Gorgeous Dre on my show Saturday, or I will potentially have Gorgeous Dre on my show Saturday, is because he spearheaded a faction of people who had the immunity for police officers removed in the state of Washington. Anytime if you go from being a person who most people in society look down on to being a dude who's making a difference in our community, if you can organize the Latino community, the Native Americans, the blacks, and the few of the whites who helped him as well, to get a qualified immunity removed from police officers in the state of Washington, making everybody responsible for their actions just like a traditional citizen. I want to know what your story is. You go from criminality to political activism. I want to know what your story is. I want to talk to you. I am continuing to work on a cycle of shows called Rapping with HRap, where I'm going to talk to people who are at a minimum 10 years older than me, talk about their experiences in America as black people. Just remember, man, every time somebody passes away who's of age of a senior citizen, at least 100 years of history pass away with them. At least 100 years of helpful information passes away with them. So I'm going to continue to build my archives of that. I am working on 12 shows. I have to figure out a way to get in contact with this brother named Dale McDonald. He is a basketball player who's in Australia. He's an American basketball player who's in Australia. I want his story to be told. Basically, I'm trying to create stories of perseverance. And once we get those stories together, we can listen to them, grow from them, and be able to move forward in regards to those stories. So continue to support the network. Built for this network. I am HRap B, along with Joe from Houston and Big Illinois. This is the End of the Bench Sports. 2 fingers, 1 word. And that's my main man, Reggie O'Shea, a.k.a. Combat Jack. Used to say at the end of all his shows, I've adopted it, dream those dreams, and man up and woman up, and live those dreams, because life without dreams flows in black and white. Life with dreams flows in technicolor and round sound. 2 fingers, 1 word. It's your man HRap, and we are out.
Yo, this is Big Illinois 73, host of the Backyard Podcast, Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time on the Built for This network. Check us out. Hosted by yours truly, with my panel, my fam. We got the sister Kim Webb, the brother Dre MC1, the brother Anuliel, and the brother HRap B. No topic is off limit. We laugh and joke. We get serious. Try to be informative. Check us out. Once again, that's the Backyard Podcast, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. Let's go.
Yo, this is HRap B. I'm back. I want to say rest in peace to former New York mayor, the first black mayor in the city of New York, David Dinkins. He has transitioned. He is now an ancestor. Much peace, much respect, much love to David Dinkins. 2 fingers, 1 word. Continue to keep the Dinkins family in your prayers. Thank you for your service. Mr. Dinkins making history. God bless you. This is HRap. We are out officially.
Greetings, brothers and sisters, family and friends. I'm your Minister of Wellness. In today's wellness segment, I want to plead with you, if not outright beg you, to stop consuming ramen noodles or ramen noodles. We pronounce it differently. And then, of course, we feed this garbage to our children. Look at the ingredients. There's one word to describe what you're looking at, and it's called an abomination. And you wonder why I call it the Satanic American diet. Who would invent such a monstrosity? And then to convince people to eat this and then to feed it to their children? I mean, brothers and sisters, it would take me 50 videos to go over this. 50 videos. And I'm still trying to confirm whether one of these ingredients are the same ingredients that they use in batteries. We cannot trust in the government to feed us food that will nourish us. That's a responsibility we have to take. We have to take control over our health. You know it's not healthy eating no ramen noodles. You know it's not healthy. So why are we continuing to eat it? There are several factors that plays into it, and those factors to me are not legitimate factors. We have to work together and make sure that every single person in our community has the right to eat to live, has access to healthy food, has access to the knowledge concerning the dangers of eating this type of poison, this kind of genocidal inducing poisoning. This is sickening. This stuff sits in your colon and rots it from the inside out, destroys the immune system, destroys the heart, destroys the brain. People need to know these things and then know the powerful benefits of eating the medicine foods of God, and then, of course, ensuring adequate access. Just a few, I'm just going to highlight some of the poisons in this garbage. I hope this motivates you to throw it out. If you have any in your home, to throw it in the garbage. You can create noodles and pastas using whole wheat, using bean pasta. It is absolutely unnecessary to poison yourself and your children in this manner. TBHQ, that's a preservative that is petroleum industry byproduct. It's incredibly high in sodium, calories, and saturated fat. Our children are obese. Our children have high blood pressure. Our children have diabetes. We have failed. We are failing to protect the health of our own children because of our food addiction. Our food addiction. We export that food addiction to our children. The containers packaging these noodles aren't helping much either. The dreaded chemical bisphenol A is widely used in the styrofoam cups in which we often buy our ramen noodle lunches. Among other things, BPA may be a cancer-causing. It is a hormone disruptor. Hormone disruptor, especially sex hormones. Now, I won't go into much more details. You all know I have YouTube channel, The Minister of Wellness, The Minister of Wellness YouTube channel. You also want to be on my email list just in case I'm censored all together social media wise. My email list, you can register your email, theministerofwellness.com. A pop-up box will appear to register your email. Between the preservatives and the packaging, instant noodles are a minefield of potential health problems. The more you eat, the worse it is. It's just not worth the risk, brothers and sisters. Do you agree with me? If you're a food addict, if you have no hope, you don't believe that you can break free from the death train, you don't believe you can live a long life in excellent health, go to my YouTube channel, The Minister of Wellness, subscribe, hit the notification bell, watch my 12-part series on the power of the G-bombs, watch my 12-part series on food addiction, my 4-part series on the fundamentals of eating to live. These videos will transform your life. Make sure you register your email. I give recipes Monday through Friday, Friday desserts. All of my recipes are kid-friendly. TheMinisterofWellness.com, a pop-up box will appear to enter your email. You'll also get information such as my upcoming event, my last event for 2020. Last time to hear me speak live, brothers and sisters, to meet and greet me live, October 31st, Saturday, October 31st, Center for Divine Love Church, St. Louis, Missouri, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, private live stream. If you can't make it, I have to have your email. And you'll start getting the recipes also, theministerofwellness.com. Join Facebook group. I can be healthy. I will be healthy. I must be healthy. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. I'm all over the World Wide Web. You can find me anywhere and everywhere simply by searching for the Minister of Wellness. TheMinisterofWellness.com, TheMinisterofWellness.com. That's my online store. I have books with recipes. I have DVDs. I have very high quality supplements. TheMinisterofWellness.com. If you need help placing an order, any questions, comments, or concerns about anything on my online store, just call 888-847-8026, 888-847-8026. Throw the ramen noodles in the garbage can. Throw it in the garbage can. You don't need them. You don't need them. They're destructive. They're toxic. It's not real food. And it doesn't belong in your body, doesn't belong in the body of your precious child. And also, before I end the video, I am a health coach. I can coach you one-on-one. I'd love to give you that boost you need to get you started in your health journey. Just schedule a consultation with me one-on-one, 888-847-8026, 888-847-8026. Eat your G-bombs. Greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds, the medicine foods of God. Thank you.
We are built for this network, for the strong, not the weak.